Okay, so last night I had an overtime service call in the middle of the night that they had water pouring down in the restrooms. What I found when I got here was both of these units right here were iced up. This one right here, AC7, serves their office / kitchen, and this one is the main kitchen AC. So last night what I did was I went ahead and shut the units down, just pulled the drains like that so that way it could drain onto the roof, didn't overflow, and I came back today. I didn't get any video of last night, but I literally just came out, saw they were iced up, shut them down, and that was it. So we're gonna go through everything today. It was iced up like it was low on refrigerant. Half the coil was iced up, but we'll find out a little bit more. I'll go through these units thoroughly and figure out exactly what's going on. They're older units, but they're in decent shape. I mean, they're not going to change them or anything, so I'll go through and figure out what's going on, and we'll see if we can't get some good video out of this one. First impressions, there's oil on these lines right here. Haven't even looked for a leak yet, but I can see visible oil. Looks like it's around that Core Max core. Someone's got a service tee on the Core Max, probably because it was leaking, but we'll see. That's first impressions. I haven't even turned the unit on, but so what I'm going to do, because I have visible oil, I'm not going to spend hours, but I'm going to quickly leak check all in this area before I take the caps off. Because it could be something as simple as a rubber O-ring missing out of one of these caps. And by the time I put my gauges on it, you might not be able to see it anymore. So before I take the caps off, I'm going to quickly check to see if there's any quick leaks. I'm not going to do the whole system because I'd rather not. Again, I don't know for sure that this unit has a leak. That oil could just be from someone taking their gauges off and just overspray. So I'm not going to go leak check this whole system on a hunch that it might be short and waste 2 hours to find out it's just got a bad first stage compressor. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to just do a quick leak check with my electronic on this stuff right here. Also, another note, I didn't catch it when I was filming the last clip. Looks like we got a run cap bandit here, going a little crazy with the condenser fan motors. It's really not that hard to go ahead and pull this capacitor into the electrical box. It's only an extra 18 inches, and it looks like there's plenty of wire. So we'll fix that. Okay, so leak detector out. We're just going to do a quick run by on these guys. Nothing jumping out at me. Nothing jumping out, man. Nothing. Okay, we're gonna do a quick test to see if my O-rings in there. This is whenever I'm curious if my leak detector's working, just stick it near a Schrader. Schraders always leak. So we know the leak detector's working. So I'm gonna put the caps back on and we're gonna spray some soap bubbles on those fittings real quick just to make sure there's not a really small one that the leak detector won't pick up. Oh, that's interesting. That cap was loose. So we'll see. A little tip here. I'm using Big Blue. I prefer Big Blue. You know, it's a great formula. They have other leak detectors in a spray bottle. They work, you know. One could argue they work just the same. I'm just a fan of Big Blue. But anyways, on those things, on the top right there, there's two different methods of spraying. There's the fan spray, where it sprays it everywhere, and then there's a steady stream. When you're using the micro leak detector like this, you want a steady stream, and you want to just gently lay it on there. You don't want to spray bubbles on there. And I'll see if I can show you a difference on the camera. So this is a steady, this is the spray. And you see how it comes out all bubbly? Now, you can still see a leak, but it's harder because there's already bubbles forming. Versus if you turn it the top around and spray just the stream. See how even that is? It just helps to find leaks a little bit better. That's just a little simple tip. very generous with this stuff. I'll be surprised, you know, honestly, sometimes this stuff will find leaks that the electronic won't find. Stuff's pretty amazing. And as I'm sure you've all seen, don't forget to check the ends of the pressure control wires. You will find leaks there. So if this pressure control, sometimes it's very rare that this happens, but if this pressure control is leaking internally in here, sometimes this top part can be sealed and it'll actually go on the inside of the jacket of the wire. So if you follow the wires back to the wire nuts or to the terminations, sometimes you'll find the leak right there, believe it or not. It's if you haven't seen it, it'll blow your mind when you do see it. I wish I had video of when I found it. I've only found it 2 times. But anyways, I'm gonna let this set and do a... Okay, so there's definitely very small bubbles that popped up right on the back of this guy. I don't think I can get the camera to focus where you guys can see. There you go. It's kind of hard to see, but there's some very small bubbles right on the back. And then also, right down on here, this Schrader's leaking really good. This one was tight, but this one right here is also leaking, and this one was loose. So we're gonna redo this fitting. We're gonna put new pressure controls, and we'll go ahead and do them all. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish diagnosing the system now. I went to go put my gauges on this unit, and the first stage actually didn't even have any gas in it. So the second stage is low, but the first stage didn't have gas. So I just put a little refrigerant in the first stage, and right off the bat, which is very strange, I already see the leak. It's got a cracked discharge line. Look at that bad boy. There's a big one. It's a real big boy. So I'm not even gonna diagnose this because I know we've got a leak on this. I'm gonna finish leak checking the second stage just to make sure. When I say diagnose, I'm not even gonna put my gauges and analyze everything right now because I know that it's low on the second stage, and we definitely know the first stage was out. So I'm gonna finish leak checking the second stage to see if there's any other leaks that I can find, and if not, then we'll just quote to come in and repair this and change the pressure controls and get it going 100%. So altogether, this is their main kitchen AC. The first stage was completely out of gas. It has a giant crack on the discharge line. The second stage was low on charge. It has leaks coming from the Schrader ports and from the high pressure control. So we're gonna submit some quotes and we'll get this unit operational. And then next, I'm gonna look at this guy because this was the other one that was iced up. Okay, so this is the smaller AC. Boy, in 2004, these compressors were giant. Look at that thing, man. That thing's huge. It's a 57,000 BTU compressor. It's not that big. Huh. Anyways, I don't see any obvious oil or anything like that, so we're gonna go ahead and put normal gauges on this unit and go through the system and see what happens. Turn this bad boy on, and something ain't right. Blower assembly is going crazy or something. Something's vibrating to all hell. Indoor blower section. There's nothing stuck in the wheel, but look at that motor. See if I can get a steady spot to where you guys can see this. The thing is, the motor's jumping because this bracket is busted on the back, but that's not the problem. I mean, that's a symptom of the problem. First off, let's pull this belt. Pull this belt off real quick. Okay, belt's off, and let's inspect that belt. Look at that. So the belt's bad. But again, symptom of the problem. Why is the belt bad? Belts don't do that with normal wear and tear. That's the sign of a pulley issue. The pulley's glazed really good. I know this is hard. That pulley's bad, and the belt is getting stuck in the pulley. So what I'm gonna do is put another belt on there. Let's see what it does here. Okay, no more of the jumping, but that still doesn't mean that the pulley's not going to do the same thing to that belt. So we've got to change that pulley for sure, but I still want to investigate some more. So I'm going to turn the unit on and see if it still vibrates with that other belt on there. Okay, now it doesn't vibrate anymore, but there's still something wrong. Again, all those are symptoms of a problem. You don't just change a belt and walk away. You look at why the belt failed. You don't just, you know, change a motor bracket and not pay attention as to why a motor bracket broke, because they don't just break. There's usually something that causes them. So from what I understand right now, the root cause is that motor sheave or motor pulley. So I'm going to turn the indoor blower on. That motor's still rocking, definitely, but it's not boom, you know, banging anymore. So I went ahead and jumped everything out. R to G to get the fan running, and then R to Y1. Everything's pulled in, so now we're going to analyze the pressures and see what happens. Okay, so everything's running. The system's not doing bad. Pressures are a little bit funky. Kind of looks like I'm running a little low on my airflow. Not too bad. I definitely want to correct the airflow issue, which I believe is going to have to do with that pulley that's kind of messed up. Let's go to my performance here. My target superheat is 12 degrees. We're definitely high on the superheat. We're a little bit low on the suction pressure, a little bit low on the head pressure. Let's see what my actual TD is. Split is about 27 degrees. It's pretty dry outside right now too, so I would expect my split to be a little bit higher. We're here in SoCal, so there's nothing that scares me too much. The system's running halfway decent. Let's click on my system performance. So we're estimated about 1900 CFMs right now. So we're running about 383 CFMs per ton. Actually, we're running about 1600 CFMs per ton. There you go. We're not too bad. So what we're going to do, I thought this unit was going to be low on refrigerant. We're going to correct the airflow problem first. We're going to correct the airflow problem with the pulley. And then after that we'll reevaluate everything and see if we need to adjust the charge. Okay, so we're all finished. To recap, this little AC over here needs a new indoor blower assembly. Once we get that dialed in, we'll adjust the airflow. We'll put the right pulleys back on there and check the charge again. It'll probably be okay once we replace that motor pulley. And then this big one right here has got 2 leaks. The first stage is completely out of gas. The second stage is still running but low. I went ahead and shut this unit off because I'm concerned about it icing up again. This unit over here, I put the other belts on it, so we should be okay. We'll monitor that one. And that's it. This call's done. We'll submit the quotes, and once we get approvals, we'll come back out and finish it up.